goal setting.
All right. Ooh. Welcome to the Runs0b3r podcast. This is episode
8.
We
finna get it in today, boy. We got two beasts with us.
Fantastic. So, we are a local Dallas-Fort Worth production. We do not only discuss running and sobriety, but all walks of life. For every one of us has a unique story. This journey begins and ends with you. Today's guests are German Garcia. Is that right? German
German
Garcia.
Put that G at the beginning. German Garcia.
And Nick Sept. That's right.
Sept. S-E-P-T.
And next to me is
Eric J. Henderson.
Yes, and I am Brandon K.
Anybody else got a nickname on the show?
Bam.
What is it? Bam? Oh, yeah. That's him. That's Bam right there. Okay, so today, Bam just got done with doing a marathon here in Irving. So he's our special guest coming from Tyler, Texas. And so, Bam, I want to talk to you about upcoming events. I want to talk to you about your nutrition and your workouts, and also I noticed that you concentrate on certain muscles of the body that a lot of us don't even try to hit, with our workouts, and those are special for running, and especially your long distance, because that's probably what goes first. Whenever we are doing a distance running, like my hip flexors are always something that usually goes first, or something that doesn't actually put me out of the race, but I start feeling pain, and that will bring me down to I won't be as motivated to run as fast. So also I did Rocky Raccoon with Bam, and I tried to keep up with him, which was just for the first loop, I went out fast. I did well the first loop, and that was my goal. And then I even told him, I said, I'm going to dial this way back, and I did. But my goal really was just hit a sub 24, and that's my goal for before the year ends. Hopefully, if I do, if I don't, I got a couple more left, so we'll see what happens. But go ahead, Bam, fire away. Let's hear about
310, that first loop, right? We went out.
Oh yeah.
But the weather was nice, so it was like, why not? Let's go. 310. And you look strong that first loop, but man, what does it say? 100 miler starts where?
Yo.
True.
So today was,
that's the very
I should
beginning.
have set back a little bit more, man, but
It's hard to do that.
It's hard to do a marathon. You go for it, you enjoy it, no regrets, and at the end of the day, it's all about just keep trying. And after you fail, just keep trying, never giving up.
Yeah. Well, you're an inspiration to a lot of the Dallas heads. So we look at you and we're always like, damn, you see what Bam's doing? You see what he's doing on social media? Because we're always checking out your social media, and so you're definitely a huge inspiration for all of us, and we're happy to have you here today for sure.
That's real talk. You got me through a pride trap. The only reason I sat out all last year injured is because I ran Rock Ledge Rumble when I shouldn't have, and I should have not finished it, even walking the 17 miles. I just finished Lake Murray, and that big cake batter run, and that was a victory for me. But I should have just after that sat still. But I'm like, nah, I'm doing this, and I Rock Ledge and caused the injury that had me sit out for an exact whole year. But then I started seeing some of your stuff, Bam, which is my goal is not it shouldn't be there. You can say it much better than I can, but help me think through that. I know where I am now, but yeah.
Because we met a coyote, right?
Yeah, when I just saw something going through the woods, I thought it was a deer. I'm not even joking. I was like, "What is that?" They said, "Oh, that's Bam."
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, when that was my very first race in trail running.
But he was a coyote. Yeah, because we sat there.
8 hours. I said, "I'm not going to break 8."
Yeah. Because that was at
50K.
50K. Yeah. But that's a brutal course. Not a lot of people understand how hard. That's 7,200 in the 50 miler. So it's like 4,200 in the 50K.
It's good to be ignorant, man. I'm glad they didn't tell me nothing.
And then you're doing those loops. So it's 8-mile loops for the 50 miler. So you got to keep doing them over and over and over and over. And you have that hill in the beginning where you're like, okay, let's go. So even it out. And then you did that day, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did the 50 miler that day. And I remember coming across you and your hands are all bloody and you fell down and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I
Got
mean,
my
you made it through.
introduction. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what matters.
That's my very
finished.
first run. Yeah.
And then we met at Rocky with 2-3 years ago too, right?
Yeah, that was my first 100K. And we met at Rocky. I think that was 21.
Yeah.
20. No, it would have been 2022 because I started ultra running in 2021.
Dang, so you're fresh sort of into it too. Like,
Yeah.
man, wow.
Yeah, and then it was you, Denny, Brandy, and Karen, I think. And so we all went out to dinner that night before. It was a good experience. And Rocky just means Rocky's my birthday weekend, so it's kind of like the way I celebrate it, you know. But Rocky's kind of one of those things like it's one and done, and you kind of have to want to go, but keep doing it back. And so we'll see where to go because I'm at 6 finishes there, so 4 more gets that 10 buckle.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Thousand mile buckle.
1,000 mile buckle. So and I think that's what Texas Trails. Texas Trails does really good. So Racer Racers, listen to this, man. When as a ultra runner, when you have something to look forward to, like let's go. Like I'll do it for that buckle. I need a cap that says that. I'll do it for that buckle. You know what I'm saying? Like so, Texas Trails has a 10 banderas gives you 5 banderas gives you a sweet jacket. Columbia jacket has got 500, and then I'm shooting for the 10 banderas. So I'm at number 9 next one finishes. So it makes you because when I got to 3 and 4, I'm like, man, I'm done with this race. And then we're like, but what about the jacket? And I'm like, hey, we got to get the
Did
jacket.
you have something to point to?
So now two more, 9 and 10, two more, and like let's go. Yeah, let's go. And I really like that.
Have that jacket and the 1,000 mile buckle.
Yeah, and I think race directors, if they can make that buckle, it's like, let's go. I think that Piney Woods 50K in September, they have that little wooden thing,
Yeah.
The course is fun. That's my backyard. I love that course, but I told them, I said, man, because you got to amp it up. You got to get that 100K buckle. That 100K buckle, that's a tough course. Think about doing 100K in September at Tyler State Park. It's brutal, like humidity, brutal. And I said, man, get a sweet buckle. We don't have people to come up. Man, I'm telling you, get
All
a sweet
respect.
buckle.
They'll come
People
out. I ran Cupid's Gauntlet for the buckle. That beautiful little bow and arrow thing that little kid had. That was a Blaze Trail.
Dude, you get a sweet
39
buckle, you
mile.
get a decent shirt.
Let's go.
Like, this shirt is tight, dude. You did great on this shirt, man.
Thank you,
I'm telling
thank you,
I'm like,
thank you,
okay,
thank
I'm gonna look good. I put this shirt on, I'm like, okay, I look like I'm been in the gym a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, I really like the shirt. Man, the swag, you get a good swag, you get a good buckle, you get a good energy. I think that's why
It's a
Habanero.
total vibe. And
Well, I
the
think
buckle's
that's
part
what-
of it. It's not a trivial thing.
Well, I think that's why Habanero is so great. I mean, it's a brutal course. It's a brutal, right? But if it's a 6 loop course, 16 times. The minute you come through that thing, you got all the canopies and everybody's like, let's go. That dopamine's going riding up. Like, man, you're depleted. You're like, I can't do this. But like, okay, let's go. Let's get up and let's go. And let's go. And I'm the only one that's got 5 sub-24s there. Okay? So, like, I'm going for 10. Like, why not?
Dang.
You know?
Yeah, come in.
And I don't know if people know this, but you get your money back if you sub a 24.
Oh, really?
That's right.
So you get your money back if you sub a 24. That's
should be
you.
my goal.
That's you. That's you. Sit on my
Something to
left
shoot
back
for.
and like, let's go. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's go. So like, that's that agenda of that ultrarunner. It's like, okay,
For the folks who don't know, y'all tell them what that is. Like when you start, what the heat means, how long the race is. When he says bandera, I want somebody listening who's never heard of this. Like, explain what that means. Sub 24 out there.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I was going to say habanero.
Habanero, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and habanero. Yeah, so you have so the race starts at noon.
Yeah.
And it's a cattle ranch, and it's just sand pits crap, and you see cows out, and you have one aid station 3.5 miles out.
In what month?
August.
Noon
the
in
hottest,
August.
in middle of
Texas.
the hottest part, the hottest race in Texas, and it's 16 10Ks, and it starts at noon.
You earned that, boy.
Yeah, 16, 10K. So the goal is to be able to pace it out perfectly during the day. Most people don't get to 7 o'clock at night and then start making a move at night. At 3 in the morning, the brain starts to shut you down because it wants to, I don't want to do this, And that's why I always try to tell people, like, today, the brain's only job is to keep you alive. Like, it cares about your PRs. They don't care. Like, you're like, dude, we're dying. Your heart rate's up to 165. Like, what can I do? Let's throw the cramps in there to slow you down. Now you got to say, okay, you're just playing chess with it. You're like, okay, that's a good move. Let me slow down, and then I throw you some salt. Man, I was throwing everything in the sink. I'm like, man, salt pills, Kool-Aid, I had blue stuff. I got Gatorade. I'm throwing it up. I'm like, let's go. And, I never got to a point where I wanted to quit.
And the brain is like, yeah, keep trying, fool.
Yeah, the brain is like,
my job is survival.
Yeah, it's survival. It's fight and flight. That's all it is. If the weather's 10 degrees less, it's a whole different story, right? That's why I always tell people, it's like, it's science to it. It's all training. It's all science. Once you understand that, and I think that's what I really like about Habanero is that once you understand that course, and every course has a cheat code. Bandera has a cheat code, and once you know the cheat code, that's why I wanted to go out the 3 days of Solomon because I wanted to see this cheat code. You see that once you know the cheat code of the course, you have the advantage of everybody else. Everybody else just sees the result. It's like, man, coyote, yeah, you got to pace it out perfectly. It's 6/8. Okay, it's a cheat code. Possum Revenge. Y'all going out to Possum this year?
I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Possum?
69 miles.
So
I'm doing 69.
you were talking about buckles, and the first time I went out to Possum's Revenge was because I wanted that shirt and I wanted the medal.
This shirt is fly,
man. And now I'm thinking about going out for the buckle because it has that same design.
What? No,
not that one.
No, you wanted the one with the rainbow one.
Yeah, I like that one.
The unicorn
Yeah,
joint
the
on it.
unicorn one.
And the buckle starts at 69, right?
Yeah, this will be the last year of those ones.
Last year, that old buckles will be
I'm like,
present.
Dude, yeah.
Otherwise,
Oh, that's it?
Yep, this is last year, so he's
they'll be
gonna
like
take
this.
those up. Then
Yeah,
it'll be
I like
that.
Chris, man. They do great stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one
Pros.
thing that I really like about their race is that so they have different bib colors, so you know who's in who. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that tells you, it's like, oh, you blue. Okay,
People don't
I know
always do
everybody.
that?
No.
Oh, wow.
He's the only one that I think that does that. And coming back from he's an ultra runner, so he understands that, right? So it's giving what the
saves you,
people
man.
want. We want hard. We want buckles. We want survival. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You got it done. You tried. You keep trying. Like, you got it done, dude.
You know how bib color saved me? I'm out at the last one they did. I forget what it was. And I see this kid just cruising past me, and I pick up my pace. You shouldn't do that, but that thing happens. And then
The shark. I call it the shark.
and then the next loop, I'm like, hey, his bib is blue.
Right.
He's doing a 10K.
Yeah. You're like,
I'm in for like 33 miles. Like,
and I think that's the hardest. The hardest part is to run your own race. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's your own
You
journey.
have to
Run your
zone
own
out.
race. Be happy for where somebody's at. Right now, somebody's at the top. Hey, be happy for them. Right now, Amy Jacobs, she was out there at the race, crewing Mel, Mel, one of our friends, and she's on top. Like, she just won Dinosaur 100 miler. She just won Bandera 100K, so she's on the top. There's that female. She's going out to Javelina 100 and try to get a Western ticket to go to Western State. So I'm like, you got to be happy for. It's always be happy for somebody else, and then be patient for when it's your time. And then when it's your time, it's good and the bad.
What's like with Nick running Nick out at Cross Timbers? It's not even competition in my head. It's I'm letting them pull me. By myself, I couldn't. I hate to say it like that. I mean, the mental toughness, I do that. Most of our training is by ourselves. But man, I didn't even feel 13 miles in. So you're gonna appreciate this. At the end of it, I said, man, that must have been like 700-foot elevation gain. Then I looked on the watch. It was 2,500 over 12 miles.
Yeah. But like, you
didn't
tell
feel
them how old you are. That's what people don't realize, that the journey is never over.
Yeah, I'm 56.
Like, if
man.
we especially as males, if we don't have something to look forward to after whatever, people want to retire to do what? If you're not working towards something, to work on yourself, to work towards something, you're done.
You're right.
Like,
I'm
the
a
brain
brand
shuts
new-
off.
I'm a brand new person. And here
Yeah.
in the theme
Like-
of the show, the addictions and then the life trials, that's why I run. It just hit me this morning, just in a total fess up. I'm like, man, it doesn't compensate for things, but there's just stuff. And when I'm out there running, it's
Well, it
just-
de-stresses your
and
life.
the folks, I mean, the
Back
folks.
in the days, that was beer was my thing. I'm 2 30 packs, 18 pack of Corona. I sit around like, let's go. That's my personality. Now it's like, I don't have that. I'm like, okay, what do I have now, right?
What do I
So if
have?
I'm stressed out, when I'm stressed out, I don't worry about it. Start my watch and I just hit the trail and I just go. I don't even worry. I don't even look at my pace. I don't look at none of that stuff. I just go.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about it is I'm very aware of where my energy and my energy's carrying me, right? So where's my energy carrying me today? 3 Days of Solomon. That's been in the back of my mind for the last 3 years, right? So I'm like, he planted it in, and I'm like, man, it's time for me to go to explore something else. And that's the thing about we're meant to be out in nature and just explore.
Yeah.
Right now, Nick's gotten big on mountain bikes now. How fun is that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. When you're just like a kid, you just want to be out there and just in nature.
That's
go.
the joy of it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing about it. You have no stress. Like, let's just
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
And then come back. It was like, okay, how did this make me feel? Okay, I feel good. I want to do that again. You see what I'm saying? So
I think that's it.
and I think that's 100% it. So we'll see where 3 Days of Solomon carries us next year. So what do they say? Are we getting our
It's 3 days of Silamo, by the way.
3 days of what I keep saying?
Solomon.
So what? Silamo?
Yeah.
Silamo?
Solomon is what you said.
But even
but
when you
it's all
say
good.
Solomon, nobody knows how do you spell that? SYLLA?
No, I can't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one
We
can
had the same trouble with
No one
Dino or
can say
Dino. Was it Dinosaur Valley?
Dinosaur.
Dino Valley.
It's Dino.
It's Dino.
Yeah, that's the one I want next. That 100-miler.
Oh, are you gonna come?
See, look at that.
I already signed up.
You
That's
see
why.
it? You see it? You see
So
it?
that
You
could
see
be my
that?
sub 24.
And that's the one. I always have that one race that kind of like scares me. Like it humbles you. Like
It's a
today
real
humbles you a little bit, right?
It's a real one.
You always want to just quit. Like, man, as long as you don't quit, just get up. Your body's breaking down. Everything's breaking down. Like, get up and do it. Who cares? Sub 24, who cares? At the end of the day, just keep trying. You know?
You know what's so amazing? Let me ask both of you guys. Like in marathons, I did my little thing on the streets, New York City, Boston, 253, blah, blah, blah. You don't always hit that wall. But what I've discovered in the trail thing, if you're doing it and doing it right, there comes not just, oh, I'm tired, not just, oh, I want to quit. There comes a moment which the world would respect, and you say, man, if you dropped out right now, like when I saw that picture, I think it was a habanero, and you can see the certain face
Yeah.
that you can't
fake
make
it.
up.
You
That
can't
face,
fake
which
it.
is your whole life going.
Yep.
Tell me about that. Like,
Yeah, you rethink your life. Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? How many times
And
have you
it
been to a
happens
race?
every freaking
But really,
race.
How many times have you been in a race and when you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Like,
Every
what
time.
Yeah. Like,
It happens
but then you
every
get done and
time.
you accomplish something that's like unheard of, and you're like, I want to do that again.
that's the reason.
Well, it's just like when you go out for a daily run. You get to those 1, 2, 3 miles, and your body's kind of figuring out like, what are we doing? It's freaking out. Your heart rate's high, and then you settle in.
Yeah.
And after a while, you get 7, 10, 12 miles in, and you're coasting, and you really don't realize you've fallen into this kind of like Zen like flow.
Yeah.
Really. So it's the same thing in a long distance race. Like there'll be a time where you just have to tell yourself, like, I have to knock off these many miles, and then I'm going to settle in and start figuring out what my plan is, And man, there's been so many times, like Bam was saying, almost every race, it's been, you get to a point and you're like, I don't want to do this. Why am I out here? Like, it's going to be night. I could be home. Like, you start feeling guilty about obligations or, things that you should be focusing on first, other than like running yourself. And
this is I hate to interrupt, but this is the experienced people. I thought just because I was new. No.
No,
You
we
guys have
always
run
like-
real time. You've done, Brandon, all y'all have done craziness, but
No,
the
you
moment
always,
happens
you,
every
I mean,
time.
you always get to
Yeah.
a point where you're thinking about what am I doing?
exactly.
I could easily go back to drinking. I say that all the time. Man, I'm going back to drinking, man. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just part of the whole journey. Like, it's never over.
Like Coyote's always on my birthday, and the couple times I'd went out there, I mean, any ultra takes you longer than you think.
Yeah.
Like you can go out there and be like, oh, I'm gonna do it in 5.5, and then you end up doing it in 8 or something. But I had dinner plans that night, and I was like, oh, I'll go knock out 50K, no big deal, 5 something hours. And I get out there, and the course is brutal. And I'm coming around 2, 3, 4 laps or something. And I'm on the 3rd lap, and I'm like, man, I told people I was going to be home by like 5 p.m.
like,
I'm not going to be home till like 7 or 8. So that doubt starts creeping in, and you think like, oh, I'm letting people down. Like, but I mean, in every race, you have those moments where you have to overcome. And in life too, there's plenty of moments where you think you're down and out, but you can't see the other side. And once you get to the other side, you almost can't see how you didn't know that you were going to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think a lot of people don't realize that everybody's struggling. You see what I'm saying? And I think this is the difference between and I don't want to compare pavement to trail running, is that the trail community wants everybody to succeed. Like we don't just come on, man. How
That
can I
helps,
help
yeah.
you? How can I help you
That
get
helps.
through? How can what can I do to help you get through? Sometimes it's like, hey man, I'm hurting just like you are, man. Like, let's go, man. I saw that. Listen to that podcast you were talking about when what was her name? Said when I told her at Rocky.
yeah, Abril. Yep.
And I said, and she came up to me and it was her first 100 miler, and she said, "What's your best advice?" And I said,
You find what you're looking for out
you
here.
find what you're looking for."
And you know what? That stuck with her too.
And she said, I thought about it 3 times. I hope you find what you're looking for. And that's what we tell
That'll
people.
sustain you for a whole freaking race.
And that's
man.
it. Like, whatever you're looking for in this journey, I hope you find it. Yeah. And I have people that I work with that I always tell them we're either working for a reason, for a season, for a lifetime. I see people come and go.
Yeah.
I've made friends along the way, and they've started another family, and they're moving on, and they just needed running for that moment. They were going through a lot of stress, and now they're okay with okay. That's all they needed, and that's fine. So it's kind of like I'm just like a tool for that time. It's like, how can I help you get through today? And that's how I tell running. It's like, how can running help me get through today?
Yeah.
Because we talk about mental health and addictions and all this stuff, but it's like it's just a tool that we need to get out.
And I can witness to that moment you said, because the first time we met, I'm running Coyote, and you were far ahead in the woods. We just saw something. Then you heard people. Bam turns around and comes back. And you're training for you're using it to train for.
Yeah, I think it was Western at that time.
Yeah.
It was Western
and
States.
train for, like, imagine how locked in, like I lived 25 years in New York City running with road people. You find no more uptight a crowd, no disrespect,
Right.
but they'll say it
Right.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to stop and go like, hey, bro, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the trail thing is different in the sense that the beast, he's still going to get his.
Mm-hmm.
He said it doesn't slow him down to say good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the meaning with the running crowd usually sees a dichotomy between, I got to get this work and get it, and you become a little inhuman after a second. Not that everybody, I know some good road folks. So I'm still a road folk. I need to put a marathon in me before it's all over again to get below 250. But to have him come back, and that was my first time out there, I'm like, man, people don't do that. And then took off in the woods again I
try to remind myself that I'm telling you, everybody's struggling because I just have a great poker face, man. I struggle all my races. People are like, man, you make it look. My wife goes to Bandera every year, and I need her there to get to that every aid station. When I get to that aid station, if I see her, I'm like this, making her smile.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're all struggling. Campigo this year was brutal.
Yeah, that's
human.
Brutal. 8,200 of climbing in 62 miles. Brutal. It's super technical. And I think a lot of times when it got moved to Campigo, a lot of people are like, I'm not even doing it. What Chris say? That was the hardest thing. I never do that again. Yep. So to me, fun is brutal. When people say, you want to do that again? I said, yeah, maybe. But I'm going to do a marathon again. Why not? You got to get to that place where you don't want to be at. And that's the place where you're going to grow.
Yeah.
That's the place where you need to grow. And I like that. I like taking challenges. To me, success is taking the challenge. Did I take the challenge? Did I learn from the challenge? And I'm okay with the effort. How is that failure?
And that's what Nick said. Like, at one point, you cannot imagine, physically and mentally cannot imagine finishing. And then when you're over it, you can't imagine not having finished.
Right. I never thought about it today. I was cramping so bad. I never thought about not finishing. I said, if I walk 5 hours, I'm going to get it done. Yeah. It is what it is. I think it was like a 3:15. I was going for a 3:10 to a 5-minute buffer. I ended up with a 3:17-ish, so I missed it by 2 minutes. But I'm like, dude, I gave it all I had. What do you want me to do?
That's the thing. What do you
want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm trying. Yep. And when somebody's trying, no matter what, if somebody's listening to this, have never done a 5K, just get out and just get out. Yep. Just try. Don't worry. Don't compare yourself to other people because you don't realize that I've been doing this for 12 years and I've had to do a lot of trail. You're in your head for 24 hours. You're in your head. I'm like, what am I doing? So you're processing everything. You're processing all this stuff. Cactus 100 is one of my favorite. Oh, you got to do Cactus 100. Okay, yeah. Cactus 100. Cactus 100. You're by yourself. You're at Bandera by yourself. It's nobody's there. It's unsupportive. You got to go drop all your stuff, and then you got to go find your stuff, and you got to go like Outlaw 100, and that's where you find yourself in the darkest moments is where you find yourself. And most people don't want to quiet the noise to find that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I really like about like the ultras break the ego down. You see, they break it down. You're like, man, there's more to this than just running.
Yep.
You went in with a plan, didn't you, Nick? You said, I'm gonna finish this in like 5 hours.
Right.
What did Coyote do to a plan?
Yeah, you have to, let's see what you do. It's almost like, one thing I've learned, and not to have goals.
Oh,
Okay.
That's how we ran last week.
Not to have goals. Like
That's strong,
it's something about it. Like when I went to Bandera,
It's
I
an
had the best.
innocence that gives you
Like,
power.
And you really go with the emotion of the moment. I don't know. That was the best race I've ever had. The woo-woo spiritual race or whatever. Everything just flew together.
Because you're still getting it without
And
a
I
goal.
was
You
like,
still
top
getting it.
whatever. People said you top whatever. And I was like, I didn't even care about that.
Yeah.
For 8 years, I wanted so bad to be a top finisher at Bandera, and I never got it. This year, I let it go. And it came to me faster.
Just ran.
And there's something about it. There's something about just letting go of the expectation, and it comes back to you just that much faster. I don't know what it is about it.
I think at the bottom of it a lot is a pride that we don't admit as pride. And I said we, I mean I.
Yeah.
Like a pride is I must do this, I must. But when I discovered when I was the most ignorant, that first run in Coyote, my very first show was one of my best. And then 2 weeks ago, after a year off, freaking that was one of my best just runs without. I'm not checking watches or whatever, but it comes to you. How have you progressed since we sort of started around the same time? I mean,
And I think in this sport, people look around and they get into ultra, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to do a 50K, a 50 mile, or a 100 mile, or 100K. Got to do all these things within
fast.
like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then like Bam was saying earlier, people burn out in 6 months to a year because either they've gotten injured or they've gotten over it. Or I mean, if you're training day after day after day after day and you're signing up for all these races and, just that's all you do. And that's your whole personality. And then you train and train and train and train. And then you show up to the race and it doesn't go the way you thought, which is common.
yeah.
Then it
And
gets
then you
in your
compare
head.
yourself to somebody else or somebody else is doing. If you look at my times, I have plateaued for the last 8 years. So is that failure? But I'm getting them done, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like
failure.
your worst day, somebody's best day.
And
That's
you're
what I always tell
living.
people.
For sure.
So like, don't compare yourself to others. Get it done. Have an experience. So I'm like, where's my energy taking me? 3 days of Cinnamon.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I've learned
Sounds
is
like
that
some tape
the
you put on
race,
your hand.
it's a tug of war.
Right.
Coyote, I've been there, done it. It's fun. Been there 3 years straight. It got moved, but I've been there. It's a great experience. And if something's got to go. So now we're gonna go out there in the spring. And now I've been to Cactus, been there twice. It's fun. 50 mile, 100 mile. I had a great experience. Now Dinosaur's calling your name, so I want to really have a great experience, relationship with the trail. Once you have a good relationship with the trail, you want more of it. You see that? But if that trail's beating you up every single time, like, I don't want that. You almost have that PTSD where like, I don't, man. It's like, how many times you had a horrible experience of a race, and I'm like, I do not want a part of that. I do not.
Dude,
want a part of
and what doesn't get talked about as much for me, like equal joy is just being in the nature. I see your piney woods, and when we were out at Cross Timbers a couple of just a weekend ago, I'm like, this is incredible. It helps the run, just being in nature and being part of it in a way that,
I was thinking about that when we were out there too. Like that story I was telling you about how we popped up onto the bluff and saw that eagle right there that flew out, and then just the smell in the woods is different than you get in your neighborhood, and you have to go out and seek that. And I was driving back just kind of thinking about that and thinking about like how I've intentionally been out there, like trying to get away from the Monday through Friday stuff and just kind of focusing on letting go and letting your mind be free, but also being around people who have like-minded goals and enjoying
help me through those
the
woods.
trails. Yeah.
And that's what I always try to tell people is that you have to explain yourself. That's what thing we get along so good. Because if you have to explain yourself to tell people this, I don't really Facebook a lot, right? Because I'm not, what am I telling these people don't understand me, right? But then you have somebody that's like, okay, I get you, dog. Let's go. Let's go do a 30 miler in the trails and let's go.
Let's go.
And then let's go. What y'all got next? I have friends in Oklahoma right now. I got friends over here and like we're just meeting up. It's like crackheads, right? What y'all doing, dog? What y'all got next? What y'all got next? Oh, y'all gonna be a possum. You know what I love about possum? We're sitting around just trading stories. Just trading stories like, oh man, that's cool, man. We got to meet up over there. And I think that's what it's all about is that we're all connected as one. That's what people don't realize. You were talking about
That's the
nature.
truth.
And it's all one connected. And people don't realize that I call it the 3D, the competition aspect of it is disconnects us from each other instead of the ultra where it's like, we're just connected, dude. We're just all one in nature and stuff. So I don't know. There's something about that as well. If I can get to that point where just like, man, I just want to get out.
Yeah.
Like I want to go out to Pazo. I want to that's what happened at going out to Arkansas. I had a rough week. They were working the heck. I work UPS late hours, and that Thursday I called in. I said, I can't. I'm done. See y'all Thursday, and then Friday I'm out. Like it's crazy that we had a tornado that day. Otherwise, I think it would have been a great race. But everything happens for a reason. So we'll find out. We'll find out how it goes. 3 days to get a rock. He was disappointed because 3 days to get a rock because he's like, I ain't getting no buckle. So you got to do the 50K Friday, the 50-miler Saturday, and the 25K Sunday, and just get a little rock. So you have to do it 5 years. 3 days is 5 years to get the buckle.
Yep.
Dog, I like that that's a life goal.
That's a good goal.
It creates
That's-
consistency because another thing, you're not out there. Like, you're right. It's not competition, not whatever, but you are with yourself always up against that wall. So I ain't out there to walk 100 miles. I ain't out there to walk 50K. And so we press up against that wall, which is why we bump into that real deal quit moment. Because any human right now under duress could get out 100 miles to go get water. You're out like, yeah, okay, family, let's get up. People used to walk that. But you're pushing, and here's what a wake up for me, being new to it. I said, here we go again with something. I'm gonna be real with it. Another little suburban sport where people spend all this money on gear, blah blah blah. I thought it was fake until I saw a guy running 9-minute miles through the woods and the 8-minute mile, and so not for competition, but I said, oh no, so you can do a real thing out there. But what put it over the top for me is if I had run into the same vibe that I knew from the streets, I probably wouldn't be out here except running by myself on trails like I do now anyway. But I just love what you said. You're one people and one with. For me, the trail running is most beautiful because it's a great sport for a loner who loves people. Because still, most of the time you spend is you, even in a race. It's you. But you know there are people out there. I know I can come back here, sit down and talk to Brandon. I know we can be here right here. So there's a communion that crosses the distance, no matter in training or a race.
Do you remember talking to those young kids?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah.
And that's what fascinates me. So I'm like a people person. I can read people right. I can read right and left, right. And I'm like, how did you get here? You know what I was doing at 22 years old?
Yeah.
We said that to them, right? Yeah. They're out there running an ultra, 22 years old, and they're just like sponges. I call them sponges, right?
Unreal.
They're just
They're
absorbing.
by themselves too.
Yeah.
They don't have family or
22
crew or
years
nobody.
old. I was
man.
like
They're just
drinking,
driving.
partying, staying out. Man, I'm like, dude, I'm running around. And how did you get here? So one thing I really, you think about this, especially on a trail race, that person beside you was there for a reason, right?
Yep.
So I was like, oh, where are you from? So that's one thing I really love about the trail long distance is that you get to know people, right? Oh, where are you from? Oh, that's cool. How did you get here? I'm from Washington. Oh, cool. Oh man, that's awesome. I kind of start following them around. I was like, man, I'm just very intrigued. How you got here?
Yeah.
How did you get here? So that was super interesting how the young kids, and we got their numbers, and hopefully they kind of reach out and and guide them. And I think that's what we, as the older we get, is we need mentors to mentor us, and then hopefully mentor somebody else and make this place a better world.
I do love seeing that brand new segment. That very first run, Coyote, there was a kid, 22 years old, ran a nice little beastly time. And I said, man, have you done this before? I said, no. He said, what's the longest you've run? He said, well, I did 60 miles. I said, where'd you run that? In my neighborhood. He was going
what's his
back
name?
and
Was
forth.
that
22.
Pierce?
I was like,
That was Pierce.
what?
Oh,
Was that Pierce that one day? Yeah.
He just said,
That was a good day. Yeah.
he ran 100 miles
And I
in
think,
his neighborhood.
Look, whatever you're looking for, what are you looking for?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
May you find it.
You'll
I
find
hope
whatever
you
you're
find
looking
it.
for. I hope you find it. I said, because the ego, whatever, you can win so many races. I could easily win races, talk about races, get on Facebook, talk about races. And no, I mean, it's not about winning the race.
No.
It's about encouraging somebody that's sitting there struggling and say, dude, I'm struggling like you are, dog.
Right.
I'm struggling like you are. Like, let's go. Like, what are we doing? And I think, and I hope my story or my what people get out of it is that man, I struggle just like you do. I was being drunk for 10 years and I just trying to find my way out. And now it's like I found something. So when I get beat down all the time. Today I got beat down. You should have seen me after the race. I'm like, Amy Jacobs was sitting there like my QL super tired. I'm like, I don't want to do this again, right? But I mean, you get up, you do it again, you put in some work, and I'm like, let's go. What's next? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, for sure. What'd you think about that 3 days in Silamo when you were there?
Oh, I love it.
You said that you wanted to make that your one of your A races, I guess, coming up now. So
So I personally, I'm attracted to is nature of disconnecting. In the bottom, you have no Wi-Fi. There's nothing. It's just you and nature.
Right.
And your brain has to figure out. So it's something super interesting that I heard that with people that have addiction, ADHD, is like we're meant to be hunter and gatherers. Like I told you that. So we're meant to go out, get the food, bring it back. Like it's in our DNA to conquer something. You see what I'm saying? If we don't conquer ourselves, we're doomed, right? So I love trails that I said the stuff that's brutal. You got to go out there. We got to go out there and make it a thing next year.
Oh yeah.
And that's what the thing I do is I usually go out first and kind of gather information. Then I'll take my buddy Ronnie. Then I'll take all my other friends. And I was like, okay, let's go. We got to get out here. At the end of the day, just getting it done.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I love the beautiful course, beautiful nature. I think it's runnable. I think it's runnable.
It's runnable.
But
in
at the
some
same
parts.
time, I didn't get to that back part of it.
Yeah.
But we went straight up. What was it?
Oh,
600 feet for the first mile and a half.
yeah. So the start of that race was same path we took, and it was a lot of people were. It was just a train of people walking. A lot of it, So it was
But it's
definitely.
just like there were people coming from Florida. That guy drove from Colorado. I mean, I feel so bad for him. So they canceled both of the race starts Saturday and Sunday, and he drove from Colorado 15 hours. So he had to drive back.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove 6 hours. I drove 6 hours to run 3 miles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You lucked out, man. Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, it is what it is. Everything turns out.
And plus, you discover like in this community, like I'm glad you guys have said it. It's not about racing or even about training per se. I go out to Santa Fe, and I just see people who just run it just because. Just because today I'm going running. And so the first mile is 1,000 feet and a climb. First mile, and these dudes are like mountain goats. And so, so you do adapt to your environment per se, but 13 miles with them going like, and again, being new to it, thankfully I had the innocent blindness. I was like, just follow these guys running through like water that comes up to your waist at one point. I was like, this is amazing.
That's the best. I love a water crossing.
Yeah.
And they had water crossings out there at the one you did.
Do we have some?
No. But man, I ran into some issues out there. I ran out of water, and there was a waterfall that was, and it had like green mossy on top of those rocks, and I put my bottle underneath it and I drank it. I didn't care. I didn't care. It was flowing.
So somebody put that fire or what?
Oh
happened
yeah,
with that
yeah.
fire?
So then at the top of the hill or mountainish area, they were trying to do a burn, a controlled burn, and because of the wind, it picked up. Those flames started igniting again, So when we were going through that part with the wind and then blowing all that smoke in your face, it was ruthless. So,
it's brutal.
Everybody was wearing masks while you were going through there, or bandanas, whatever you had. So it was tough, man. Definitely. That race had a little bit of everything, so that's why I enjoyed it. If you're talking about nature, that had a little bit of everything. You had to find your own water at some parts because they had it was 7 miles till the next aid station. I ran out of water in like maybe three miles into that. So I had 4 miles left and I needed something. So yeah, it was a very, very interesting race. A lot of fun, a lot of climbing, saw some snakes, a little bit of dangerous parts. Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah.
And it just hit me. How long have you been doing this trail?
Oh man, I don't know.
A long time.
Not too long. I mean, I started 7 years, maybe. Not
So
trail, but 7 years running.
So what hit me is we got two. You hear the conversation is fluid with all of us when we have super experience and whatever, and that's why I like the unity in it. But I want to take that point to come back to like, okay, Nick, you and I sort of got in almost the same time. Tell us, how'd you end up here, all the way to how you end up sitting in this chair? Like, how does that work? Like, you weren't running dirt before.
No, I wasn't running at all. So
not even running.
Yeah, no. And before 2020, the last time I'd ran purposely was in high school.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's kind of a lot of people's stories. I didn't run like high school track or anything, but in gym class, we ran the mile. So that's what I ran. But I'm from Washington State originally. So before I moved down here, one of my buddies who lived here at the time had challenged me to run the Fort Worth half marathon, Cowtown, once I got here. So I started to go out and run a little bit, and I was doing cycle bar, so the indoor cycle spinning studio. So I was doing that, trying to get fit. And then that all closed down during COVID. So I went outside and just started running around my block. And I mean, at that point, 3-4 miles for me was like the long run.
Wow.
Like, now, I mean, that's, something we do on a weekly basis, but you got to start somewhere for sure. And then I started working up a little bit. I did like the 4x4x48 one weekend just to try to add some volume. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's the Goggins challenge. I was listening to David Goggins and reading his book. I mean, that's
I
like a lot of people's story
I did
too.
it during COVID.
Everybody does that. So
I put that fool's book down. I'm like, I can't listen to that for you. Have me out here.
Yeah.
And I did it.
I always joke
But anyway,
and say,
yeah,
I always joke and say, if it's not in the ultra sign up, I don't do it.
But so I went out there and did that, and then I ended up. I was signed up for the Dallas Ultra, the Dallas Marathon, but the ultra distance that weekend.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing grasslands as kind of like a training run, and I didn't know anyone. And then the next weekend after, I just Googled, or not Googled, but looked on Facebook for trail running groups in this area.
So you chose dirt just as a training run, not even I'm going to be. It was the longest run you could find to.
I was on Google just looking for something that was around, and so I went out there, and an hour and a half from where I live, and that was my first marathon. I've still never lined up for a road distance marathon.
Man.
I mean, I've done other distances, of course,
crazy.
like have multiple marathons, but went out there, did the dirt marathon, and then the next weekend I was looking for group runs, found Team Dirt and Vert. So been running with them consistently ever since, and been involved in grasslands after that. So that was kind of the jumping off point for me. And I mean, now, I'm weekly. My weekends basically I get up earlier on the weekend than I do in the middle of the week. Like I love going out there with a group of people, going long, exploring new things and just seeing how many miles we can do. Like, Bam was saying earlier, like talking about, 30 packs and all that. It's like, I don't personally, I don't really want to go out and run 1 mile. But if you told me, hey, we're going to go run 30 today, I'm like, let's go run 30.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's something about that brain.
And it's something about that community. When I bought this book after I'd crapped out my first marathon, 3:15 in Philly. I got that time because I was scared of it. A good kind of fear.
Oh,
You
wow.
got to respect.
How old were you? 3:15 solid.
I was 33 or whatever. But and then I thought I could run. So GE sends me out to Vegas. You want to run with the corporate marathon team? I'm like, you sending me out? Let's go. So at around 2 minutes 40 something, 2 hours 40 something, I see the finish. But I didn't know the lady at mile 18 handing out oranges wasn't just a fruit lady. And so 2 hours 45 was all I had in me. They're like, you just had a mile to go. There ain't no finishing because the EMTs come. I said, well, dog, let me get up and finish. He said, no, your blood sugar's 26. I said, well, what does that mean? He said, well, for some people it means coma. I was like, take me somewhere. Take me where there's no coma. Yeah. And so I just appreciate that. We can do these miles. I used to think, and it sounds like an arrogance, but I guarantee somebody listening right now who has not run, you can be within 2 months saying 26 miles, okay. Because I used to get books that say 70 miles is that's a heavy training week. Mm-hmm. And now our American marathoners, there's a bit of laziness we have as a country because they got let's go train with the Kenyans to see what the secret is, and they're thinking genetics. No, the secret is they were running 110, 115 mile weeks way before anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's ups and downs in running too. Like I don't want to say like, oh, 1 mile is not a big deal, because it is a big deal. Deal. I'm sure that there will be some time in my life where I wish I could go out and run 1 mile. Yes. It's always ups and downs in ultra running. It's never linear.
That's what I'm saying. You get to a place where you're just grateful. On Wednesday, I'm telling you, I woke up, my sciatica nerve, I couldn't even walk. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go do this marathon, right? And I don't know, I just doing a lot of little stuff, and then got back to it, and I was just like, man, I'm just grateful to be out here, and that's what it is. I'm just grateful. Cramps are cramps, but I'm not. I mean, I'm comfortable, but it's gonna get done. At the end of the day, it's gonna get done.
Yeah.
Very nice. Hey, Bam, let's talk about your nutrition. And I know Nick and you both shop at the Feed. Shout out to the Feed.
Nutrition, race nutrition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think there's a secret.
Okay, let's hear it. I want to know your secrets.
I'm not gonna give my secret. No, I put it all on on my IG. I put it. I don't hold nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I put all my stuff on there.
We share.
So I think the gut, man. The gut is interesting. You got to practice the gut, man. You got to. And that's what I think about it. So I took
Practice
3. Yeah, practice. You got to whatever you're gonna raise. You got to mess with it. And David Rose is killing right now the elite. So right now, number 1, number 2, it's gonna be super interesting what the Western State's gonna look like. So he's like throwing 200 grams of carbs an hour. And he just it's almost you almost got to think about going to a buffet, all you could eat, and then see can your gut process that stuff. So man, I'm throwing. I have 5 different fuels I love. SIS I like. I love Martin, of course. Powder.
I like,
Powder I really like. And that's what I did for Rocky. SIS hit Martin, and then Tailwind comes and goes just because it gets old. You know.
Right. Yep.
Tailwind's like you can only do so much. You can do 50 miles with Tailwind and it gets old. So, but I shoot about 80 grams an hour when I'm in those ultras. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and fuel depends on exertion. So
Exertion.
you're constantly measuring, like, because I've seen people over fuel, like, oh, you're gonna have to work that off in the next 15 miles.
and that's what I think what happened to me at Rocky. At mile 80, I couldn't take anything more. And it was all water. From 80 to the finish, it was all water. I've been trying to break 18 for the last 5 years. And I know everybody there now, so I'm stopping, talking to how you doing? It's kind of slowing me down, but I'm like, man, I enjoy that. I like to see where everybody's at. You know what I'm saying? So the fueling is at. I like those 3. Striker, ST Striker, STYKER. This is from like Finland or something.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
Yep,
It hits. That hit it. And every day something different. Like
But
you
and it's personal too.
right?
Like,
And every day
like,
you just got to keep trying
what
with
pace
it.
am I gonna run? Like, I can only run on, for some odd reason, those quarters of oranges at the aid station.
Right.
And then after a while, the little boiled potato side. Am I gonna take for the salt? So I just
And then
potatoes and oranges to get me
Something
through,
salty,
man.
something sweet, and then every depending on the weather, depending on the effort, depending on the trail, how long the distance can you get away with it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. It's
You got to experiment. Yeah.
you got to experiment, and then it might work one day, then it might not work again, and you're like, I think that's what I really like about the trail, the ultras, is that it's just trying to figure everything out. You just, are you cramping? Are you not cramping? Can I get, why is my heart rate so low? So I don't know. I really enjoy that a lot.
That's why I think anybody would love it. I've told my nieces and nephews, I said, look, just go show up at the store. The shoes are on me. I ain't rich, but it would do my rich joy of life to see somebody just get out there. But I ain't running like you. I'm going to just walk a mile on Lake Grapevine. It will be in you just to be in that nature. And if you never run more than a mile, that's a win too. Right. Like, just get out and be in that,
See, I have different shoe places here, right? So like that, to me, I always tell people this: the hardest part of running is the right shoe for you.
For you.
For you. Like people say, what's the best shoe? Like for you. Like, I don't know.
you.
I found those Hoka ATRs for the trail. Love them. I just love them.
Is that the ones we have? Like the
What do you,
I don't have them.
dude? When I tell you they can hold up mileage, they can hold up
Is
mileage.
that the one you bought?
Is that the one? Did it have a little a little hug like
They're
this?
the orange and blue
It's the
ones.
Challenger. He's talking about
Yeah.
the Challenger ATR.
Dude, they can hold up mileage. They can throw. You can put 1,000 miles on the trail, super light. And so what I do when I go into a race like Bandera, I'll buy a brand new pair and I'll use those for the race. Then I'll kind of wear them out through training, and then I use another one. I probably get some for
nice.
possum. Yeah.
So you don't break in the shoe before, or you do?
Nah.
You break it in there
because I know how great that shoe is.
Yeah.
I know how great that shoe is. And,
nice,
And then
nice.
for the pavement, I like the New Balance Rebels.
Yeah,
Like today, I
that's
have a
what I'm
brand new
wearing.
pair. Yeah, I really like those.
I mean, not today, but yeah, usually I am.
I love that. Just finding your fit. I've gone from 2 socks to a short sock to a long sock. Now I'm settling into a long sock. At Grasslands a couple weeks ago, my short sock crunched up halfway in my shoe, and I'm miles away from anywhere where I can change that. So then I flipped into a new low cut shoe.
There's a new sock right now. I can't spend $20 on one pair of socks. That's just me. You know how expensive.
That's my DNA.
You know how expensive razors are getting right now.
Yeah.
$100 especially. So I think it's with the JOYER.
I know you're talking about. Is it a
they're
double
like-
sock? That's one sock.
They're like $15 for 6 pair, and they're awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, man, these are like, I like these socks. So I always try new stuff. So with the nutrition,
Yep.
when I'm training for something, I'll go, okay, process of elimination. That's what I always tell people. You don't know. Let's try it out. We'll see
Y'all
how it
running
is.
the toes socks?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, because I don't tape toes. Do you tape?
I
your
double
toes?
up on those.
My feet are like calloused up. Like I have calluses on calluses.
You have no worries.
Yeah. My feet are the last thing I worry about. I'm on my feet all day, UPS. So
Yeah,
the feet is not the problem. Especially with ultras, I can just go.
Yeah,
I could just go.
So no blisters.
No blisters.
That's
Even at
wonderful.
habanero. So at habanero, the hardest part is getting, because you have to put water. So you have to have ice on your neck. So there's that vein that sits right here that it gets too hot. Your brain starts to shut down. So if you start at 5 o'clock, you'll see people on those, on the coolers, like, I'm like, I need ice. It's like, no, and they can't even move. So 2 years ago, when it was the hottest year, they had 3 ambulances out there. And that one guy, they were doing, so the shorter the distance, the harder it is because you want to go hard, right? Because that 50K, that's what I tell people, man, you don't want that 50K, man. That 50K is hard. You want the 100K, you pace it out, and then you finish strong.
Yeah.
Then you can do it in the 100 miler, you just pace it out, you can sub that 24 there.
A race is different. I do heat training. Like when it was 110, I like going out and running 20s and 110. But you have to know what you're freaking doing or you fall out. But I'm wondering, Nick, what's your longest race run?
100 miles.
And so
Which one was that one?
And that's what I'm saying.
Dinosaur Valley.
I haven't done 100 miles yet. He did. That's what I'm saying. New to it.
That's
and did
respect.
100
That's
miles.
respect.
Have you, going back to the gear part, have you either in training or in the race, have you done any significant shifts up in your shoe sock type deal? It sounds minor, but I'm wondering, have you found your thing? Have you found your thing?
Not necessarily, just kind of like
Or it
Bam
just
saying,
depends.
like, I try all new stuff always. You know, I'll see something on social media and buy it and try it out. And, you know, there's things that work for you. There's things that don't. As far as nutrition too, same thing. Like I love trying new stuff. And, I mean, there's something to be said about, you know, it's problem solving.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know,
That's really
what
what
if
it is.
what if you run out of your stuff that
Right.
you've been using this one thing the whole time and all of a sudden on race day, it's not available. And now what do? You know,
Yeah.
it's problem solving. So if you haven't been, you know, adapting to using other things during out the whole training process, or, I mean, you're probably going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
But it's something about like the low dopamine.
That's life,
I don't
man.
know anything about my brain, right? But my goal is to understand my brain, right? But I get more excited when I'm like, I might not have that. Like it's excited that, okay, how can I figure this out?
It's a
Can I,
mystery.
yeah,
I love
can I get
that
out of this
part.
hole? Can I get out of this
Yeah.
hole? Okay, can I get out? So like now with my my headlamp, I always have a backup headlamp because I was at Camp Eagle the first year, 2019. Same thing happened. 2019 happened, and I was out there with no headlamp, and I said, never again, never again, right? So you learn every time you learn. And the ego shuts off. It's like now the ego's like, you can make it to the next station. Like, no, you ain't. You better be prepared for be prepared for the unexpected, and that's the thing about it, because you never know what's gonna happen. Your crew's not gonna make it to that aid station. So be prepared to have all your stuff with you. And I really like those Solomon vests that we have. I mean, we can carry 20 pounds. You know, it does. You can't even feel it. I'm like, oh, man, I have everything on me. Like, let's go.
The only problem is they smell.
Do they? After a while?
Yep.
Dude, but I've been on the
But
trail.
I've
and
been
this-
washing them, but yeah, they do smell.
Somebody passed me on the trail and said, "Hey, man, you smell pretty good." One of my little mental tricks when I get to the aid station, I have this peppermint oil. Be careful, don't put it close to your eye, because you'll be blind.
Yeah.
But I just go like, clack, clack, and it just like keeps me like.
I carry that little deodorant stuff. So I'm telling you, at Habanero, if your brain feels like you're fresh,
Yeah.
like it goes like, hey, man, let's go. I feel like, let's
I need
go.
a spray of the
Do
peppermint.
this little bit.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
just get it like.
Yeah, people talk about brushing your teeth.
Yeah,
you know,
that
in a
change-
certain
well, I think
part
what-
of the 100 miler. Like,
I think what that
biology
is,
on that.
I think what that is because the brain is so smart. Like, you know, you can't, I don't know about y'all, but I can't chew food after a while, right? Because the brain is like, I don't want to digest this. So, but when you brush your teeth, and that's what the Topo Chicos are so good too, the mineral waters, because it resets the taste buds.
oh, nice.
So it takes all the taste buds out and he puts the new ones in. So that's a little trick that I use. So Topo Chico, hey, where you are?
trick
Topo
right
Chico,
there.
let's go, let's
Jot
go.
it down.
Yeah. I give you the Chico to have.
Brain reset.
Hey, my goal is to get.
Topo Chico is already magic for me. I'm like, this is just mineral water, but it ain't.
Yeah. It just, you know, it's something about it.
Freaking water.
But I give you the Chico for habanero, man. I want the most. I want to coach the most sub 24s there when they're like,
Oh, man.
And I've been scared of mineral
That's August,
water.
right?
I like sparkling water on it. So I'm like,
no, it's good stuff.
Bam could get a buckle just for convincing people to go out to Hall.
Yeah. Because have you noticed that people don't realize what you do until they go through it, right? That's why I understand dinosaur valley. Like dinosaur valley scares the mess out of me. That's why I ain't done it.
Yep.
I've been there. I paced Heather Goddard. She broke the course record, female, and then the next year Regina broke her record. And I'm always out there pacing somebody, coaching or pacing somebody. I love that course. I love the energy.
And that's why I
it.
stopped to marvel at it. Like we've been in about the same, but the 100-mile for me, not gonna lie, in front of my OGs here, it's still
You're the fact like
a thing. I'm looking at that mountain, going like, yo. But I know I'm gonna. And the matter is just to go do it.
Yeah.
But I think that course slowly, you've been there plenty of time. It like slowly just chips away at you, right? Like you're like, you have to keep going back out, and the top of it is super technical. And you're like, then you got to come back down. So if you have weak quads and weak ankles, it's gonna beat you up. That's why I haven't done it, because I've been working on my quads with the mountain bike. And then if the ankle's not strong, it just slowly just starts to just
You have to want it. Is what it comes down to. Like I had year over year, I had attempted Lake Murray 100-miler, and it was 2 mud years. So I got to about 100K the first year, and then 100K the second year. And by there was like 3 weeks after that second attempt, and I was looking for a new race. So I wasn't even recovered when I went into Dinosaur Valley, but I made it to myself. I was like, I'm not leaving, 2023? I'm not leaving 2023 without a 100-mile buckle.
And see, that's what people don't talk about.
That's
like,
what I'm coming up
that's
on,
what
like-
builds the fire. Where people talking about
The failures.
the failures of the fire, man. I'm like, what we doing? Like today, like I'm not disappointed. I gave it all I got. Like, okay, maybe I need to get back to it. Maybe I need, because I didn't even train for it, right? It's just like, let's see where we're at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go back to it, because that's where you grow. The place, that's where you're gonna grow, right? And that you had a little fire. Like, you know what? I'm not getting done with this year, and I'm gonna get this one. Did you know how hard that course was?
Yeah, I knew it was hard, and
God.
I mean, that's
it
crazy.
was my
Run
only
it
option.
fresh and new, yeah.
I didn't care if they took the markings down. If everybody left, I would be out there till Tuesday. But I was getting 100 miles on my watch.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's why we tell people it's your journey, and get it done that day, whatever it takes. Yeah. Oh, I had one of my buddies came from down south, Raul, and it's so easy now. They made it with the 100K, with the 100. So if you get it to the 100K, you get a Western States. You get a Western States ticket, yeah. And it doesn't show as a DNF if you sign up for the 100-miler. So in the back of your mind, it's like, why am I going to go further? And I said, nah. I said, you're going to get that done. I'm here. Yeah, I said, nah, I'm here now. I said, you're going to get that done. You're going to be miserable. And I have pictures of him and just brutal. The sun coming up and he just dying. And I said, dude, you signed up for this. Exactly. You signed up for this. You paid good money for this moment. It's unteachable moment. You can't, and people that you're working with, you can't. That's where you grow right there. That's what I would tell them. I can't tell you to go do a 100-mile training run. That's your training. You know what you said that I really loved on that podcast? What did you say about the?
Some people train to race.
Pavement.
We race to train.
Dude, pavement, train to race, and ultra trail people
race to train.
Race to train. Yeah. That's where you get your training, and that's where the training begins, man. What I always say, like the work ends. The training begins when the work ends, because you can't. That's where this is the work begins right here. Yeah. Like, let's go. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine that struggled at Camp Eagle this year. He's an awesome pavement runner. He wanted that beef. I would say, you want that beef? That's where that beef is at. Camp Eagle at that second part, mile 40 goes a straight up 300. And I said, dude, you can't. This is your training right here. And then you either going to want to do this again or you're not want to do this again. But it's your journey. And hopefully it lit a fire and said, I don't want it again. And then they'll turn at the right time. Yeah. Okay, I need to go back to that moment where I need to grow from. And that's where it's unteachable moment.
And that's where my own is. When I jumped in from Coyote, then I see the medals, but then it hit me like, yo, you're not in this until you buckle up.
Yeah.
Just for me. And I can see you, Nick, kind of like, oh no, I'm not leaving here without I gotta buckle up. And so I got one, but the 100-miler is the thing that
you haven't done one yet, right?
I haven't done a 100-miler yet.
Yeah. Habanero. Hey, I'll give you all the secrets, dude. It's not as hard as what people think it is. Yeah. Once I'm telling you, it's.
I might have to sign up,
dude. I'll give you all the. I want people to succeed. So I'm indifferent where people want to compete. Like, no. Competition is a weakness.
I love sharing.
I love seeing people succeed. If I can help you get something, man, yeah. And that's the thing about it. When I carry an extra flashlight with me, like a cheap flashlight. They're like, hey, I got a flashlight for you, dog.
Lifesaver.
Dude, but you never know because that good
I've been
thing's
in
gonna
the
come
dark
back
before
to
at Possum Kingdom.
you. Dude, how do you? What if I would have come by? Hey, man, here's a flashlight. That would at least got you to the next aid station, got you to the next one. That changed the way I thought about it. Was my 2019. That was one of those races that kind of changed my whole of my whole career, of whole trail career. When there was a guy that said, I was out of my flashlight, and he said, "We can use mine. That's what we trail runners do. We help each other." I was like, I was coming off the pavement like, what? And he's like, no, that's what we do. We help each other out. So they guy that didn't even know me from New York. And so we used his flashlight for 2 miles. And then we got to my wife and she had the flashlight. We got it done. That's what it's all about. It's about helping each other get through it.
Nice.
Yeah.
You find that nowhere else.
Nowhere.
I play a lot of basketball, a lot of parks. Imagine if I used to live at Marcy in Brooklyn. If I just start banging on somebody, he's not going to be like, hey, man, great shot. Or if he falls down, I'm like, hey, let me go help you. And it's not an antagonist. It's just the nature of the sport.
It's just the competition aspect, how we were raised to be able to that's just the nature of it. It's our, I think.
Yeah. But in this one, the people, the beasts still do beastly things. They are not, even at I've stood next to max competitors. I'm out there seeing Nick Peterson he's dropping a top 8 finish, but dude's face was all joy the whole time. And I know we're all putting in work, but he would pass by and I'm like, man, that dude's just happy.
But I think
he was moved.
But I think like with coaching, you want mentoring, coaching, you want everybody to succeed.
Yes.
I wish I had more time. Like that's why I think I loved it because it hopefully reaches more people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I want y'all to keep doing it because listen to it. You have more people listening. It's like, okay, maybe I need to change the way I think. And then
who are these couple of guys we always see out? I've walked miles with Mr. Kim during the race. Beautiful. And my other brother, he's done so many 100-milers. What's his name? A whole bunch. Emilio.
No, you're talking about Renee.
Renee.
Yeah.
And so I just ended up I didn't know who we were, but I was like,
He's got like 300, 100 milers, something like that.
Yeah, just walking 3 miles with him. I'm like, this is
That's what you need to get in here.
Hearing the stories about life. I mean,
he was at Habanero 100, so same thing. I always ask him, man, what drives you? Because I was at that place where like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? And he's been doing it 300, 100 miles. And you know what he told me? He said, you don't want to know my childhood. I was like, oh man, yeah. I was like, ooh.
Yep.
And I said, if you ain't got that, you don't want to go dark and get that fire light you up. Yeah. And the thing about it, the people who have the worst past turn out to be they have the light. And that's
the
where
most
I'm at.
empathy too.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, man, I just want you to have my joy. Like, I'm just excited to be like, man. I didn't know that I have Plus and Revenge course record, right? That 1 year I got a course record. I'm like, I didn't know that right now. So this year, you know what I'm doing? I'm having another guy that I know that can be my course record. You know what I'm saying? I want you to come be my course record.
Go get him. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, let's go, dog. And he was like, man. It's like, yeah, you can do it, dog.
You can do
and
it.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. And I want you to break my course record. And that's what it's all about. Putting the right people in the right situation where they can grow. And I was like, this is the way you're gonna grow. It might be uncomfortable. Habanero 100 might be a little bit uncomfortable. But the minute you come out of that thing, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm glad I did it. You know, one thing everybody says when they do, and I said I never say, and they always say, I will never come here again. And I said, and I heard it 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row. And I said, I'll never say that again. I'll be back next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back next year. And I tell Cal that every time I finish, I say, great race. I'll be back next year.
So is that race worth the cheddar? How much it costs? It's expensive.
It's free.
It is habanero. Oh, for you.
You see what I'm putting?
It's gotta be free for me too. Maybe
It's
it was
free, dog.
motivation.
You got to plant that in
But
your
it
brain.
is pretty expensive though, right?
303, I think. 350. That's what I always tell people.
A tough one, man.
But it's free, dog.
You know
How
what?
much
You guys
coffee
do it.
you
I'm
buying?
telling you.
How much nonsense you buying over the year?
That's what I always tell people. You know how much people spend on $6
Freaking
coffees?
coffee.
Yep.
$6 coffees. Like, dude, man, why would you be?
50
You can afford it.
coffees
Your
or go run
priority.
a race.
You can afford it. Your priorities is just not there.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Huh.
That's it. That's what I think about. You
I
can
thought you were
anything
going to say like
can
it was
afford.
3,000 or something like that. Because I've seen some of those. I'm like, no,
that's why. I mean, when I get ready for the
300 is
250s,
tough, man.
the 250s are 1,500.
Yeah.
And then you got to bring people
travel.
out and travel and bring all that stuff. It's just a
that's
matter of
different.
time.
That's
Matter of time.
different.
We'll be
Yeah,
there.
that's
We'll
different.
take a crew. We'll, we'll take the right person. We'll create something big. Oh, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? But you got to create like y'all created this. everything's coming. So
Everybody out there, you built a village to get you out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it. It's almost like an artist. You know, you start out as a good singer, and they're like, "Oh, that person can sing," but you actually earn your way into production equipment. The band, the guy can play, and then you hear them. They didn't have a chance to play on that equipment before, and so you earn your village before you get out there. And it seems like it would be just a natural progression when you went to do your first 100 mile. How'd you find people for Dinosaur Valley?
I would say it's mostly people that I just ran with. Shane was a really big support for me, Shane Welsh, and he came out there and I knew that I was picking him up to take me through the night, and that was kind of a big motivational boost for me because I knew that I knew that I was going to have someone coming with me that was going to be excited. 2, I didn't want to let him down because he's come all this way and he's looking to get miles in. So I'm like, well, I have to keep going now for sure. So, but yeah, and it's just the camaraderie when you're out there too. Like it's fun to do it with someone else. I mean, there's times to do it by yourself for sure. And, maybe that's a goal that someone sets out like, oh, I'm going to do it all by myself this time. But there's no shame in accepting help and accepting, it takes a village. Cliche, but it does.
And it's where everybody's at. Like, I mean,
exactly.
and it's okay. Like, your journey's your journey. Your journey's your journey. Like, I sometimes kind of like not having pacers. At Outlaw 100, Outlaw 135, dog. That was brutal. So, most 100 milers. This one took me 31 hours.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
What is my
and I'm by
life?
myself. I have no pacers. It's literally, you have to find little on the trees, little markers on the trees, and I got lost for like an hour, and I'm running around in circles like the Blair Witch Project. And the only reason I found my way back is I knew I climbed, so I'm like, hey, let's go back down. It's 3 a.m. I'm exhausted. I'm seeing those shadow people, so I guess it's my and they're like clapping and stuff, and I'm like, dude, what is going on? So I see the headlights going that way, and I'm like, let me meet these headlights, and then we met together. Otherwise. Yeah, dude, I'm out there. Like I was at mile 85. I'm that close to fine. If I would have, I don't even think I had service. I'm that close to calling, but I didn't want to get DNF. If they come get me, DNF me, I'm like, dude, I wanted this buckle bad. Right. And they changed the course to another place, but it's still brutal. Let's do that. So that's when I think what I'm gonna do is Rocky 1 year and then Outlaw the next year because it's the same weekend-ish. But dude, brutal. Technical climbing. It was 18,000 of climbing. 18,000 of climbing, super technical. You're crossing rivers. You never know what's going to happen in February in Oklahoma.
Wow. Forget it.
1 year was snowing. You're out there by yourself. That's what I'm saying. Some days it's okay to go out there and just suffer by yourself and just say, I just want to be in peace by myself. And then you come back to the real world and you're like, what this guy cut me off. Like, why am I mad? I'm like, this dude. And then, I always say, what do we have here in Texas? Bless your heart. Like somebody comes at me and say something, bless your heart. I know you're in a bad, bless your heart. Like, I don't let people take my energy.
Don't let it.
I'm like, dude, I'm just like, it's going to be okay, dog.
I love the first moment you're in the woods and you look at a tree and it's daytime and the trees go like this. I'm like, this tree is moving. Yeah. I stopped to look at it.
Yeah, there's some real tough stuff out in the Ouachita Mountains in Arkansas and Oklahoma right there. So, I mean, it's only 6 hours away, but if you want to really get a change of scenery and challenge yourself out on some technical terrain and and they have a great ultra running scene out there too. I would check it out.
That's good to be able to bump into folks to go with.
And mountain
old school feel, like draw a line in the sand and start running type of thing.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think that's what I liked about that one we went to because that rock. I'm like, why am I doing this for rock? People that don't even run, they always ask me, how much money you make doing it? I don't make money doing it. I mean, I'm my vocal. I'm like, no, I do it because I want to get to that place just that place where I don't want to be here, and then I have to get myself out of it. That's where I want to be at. That's where you grow. And that's where I want to be at. Like, okay, and let's go. At the Outlaws, one of my brand new runners, she looked at me. She's like, I've never seen you that bad. And I was I got myself out of that, didn't I? Yeah. And that's why you got to keep putting yourself on there. Are you trying? Can you get yourself out of it? What did you learn? And do you want to do it again? Yep. Do you want to do it again? I'm like, man, every time I cross that finish, I stop my watch. Like, I kind of want to do this again. You know what I'm saying? There's something to it.
It's rough when you're out there. And you're down on your luck, down on yourself, and you don't want to continue. But what's even tougher is when you're sitting at home on Wednesday,
Oh,
wishing you still would have been out there finishing it.
And
That's
that's
worse.
what I always
kept
tell
me
people.
going. You imagine that not.
Well, that's what I always tell people. That version of you is already there at the finish line.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's
yeah.
already there.
gotta
Now,
find
whatever, he's waiting for you.
Yeah.
No matter what, he's waiting for you. If you quit now, you ain't gonna meet that person that's gonna make you to be that other person. Then on Wednesday, that same person looking back, man, I should have just finished that mug.
I think about
yeah.
sometimes there's I saw on YouTube, it was like this, I think it was, he calls himself like the motivational preacher. His name's Eric Thomas.
Oh, I've
And he
seen-
says, you're already in pain. You're already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Oh yeah.
So
out of it.
I come back to that a lot when I'm walking on a trail and I'm down on myself. I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still going to go home and be in the same pain I am. I might as well finish this thing
Yep.
and at least get the buckle and, finish.
It's amazing what people can come out of. I saw a lady, man, with one more loop to go in one race. And I looked at her and I made a point not to keep looking because I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like she's in that sunken place in a major, major way. But kept going. When she finally crossed the finish line, it was joy for everybody.
Yep.
I'm telling you, the females are the toughest to beat, man. If they're like the 1, 2, 3
Dude.
females, I get to run with them a lot.
Dude.
Kelly Swanson at Habanero, she did not want to talk. See, I'm a talker. I like to say, how you doing, what you doing? But she got me about 12 minutes overall, right?
Right,
And then, so we were like trading off. I said, okay, I see you. But she did not, she did not want to talk. She did not want to talk. And then she crewed and paid second place winner at Rocky this year.
yeah.
So she was there. I was like, I remember you. So
Real talk, at
Yeah.
elite and local levels, you cannot name another sport where in the top 20 will always be women.
yeah, the
You
females.
can't name any other. I've never seen anything like, and from even the Western side, like there's always women beating a whole chunk. And I believe if more women even came out, they would take up more of those top spaces because there's a self-selector for the runner.
And I think that's what makes it great.
I wish
because
people would study that.
I understand that. Like,
Yeah.
there's, the older you get, there's still there's option for you to just keep going out there.
Like, they have
just sit around and watch
endurance
the Rocky 100 finish the last 30 minutes, the last 30 hours of the thing. So I had one runner. She beat about 15 seconds.
Oh, wow.
29:45.
I saw your story.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
awesome.
baby.
That was
Cheer up. Fela Sandoval. I was like, I mean, this is what like people that motivate me. Like those people, I'm sitting in my tent. And these people are still have to go out another loop when they're suffering. And I'm like,
And you
that.
feel funny.
And I'm like, dude, watch these. And then the new people are like, I just don't see how they do it. I said, man, they'll find a way. They'll just keep
find a
grinding.
way.
They'll keep finding. It was 15. It was like 15 seconds. It was close. I was like, I teared up and I was like, holy
Come on.
moly.
Come around that corner.
Because do you still get a buckle? Like if you sub a 30, does he still give you a
Yeah,
buckle?
yeah,
You just don't get a Western ticket.
A Western State was sub
30.
30.
Yeah, it's sub 30.
32 hours.
Get you a buckle. The cutoff.
Cutoff
Okay,
time. Yep.
okay.
Under
And one thing
32.
too is like at the end of the day, the only person that remembers your time is you,
Mm-hmm.
or probably not even you. But
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing.
yeah, everyone knows that you finished.
Yeah.
So people focus so much on their time. They're
Yeah.
like, I did this, or I wish I would have got this. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Did you
matter.
finish?
Yeah.
I like to ask people, did you have fun?
Did you finish?
You
I've
want to
been
do it
really
again?
trying to focus on that. Like, did
Yeah.
you have fun and you finished?
And
All
you want to
good.
do it again? Like, dude, what did
Yeah.
you learn? You want
And
to
your
do it
question,
again?
what did you leave out there in your own terms, your own measurement? Like when I've finished those, I'm like, I know for a fact I hit that real space. And I don't know how I came through it, but I came through it. There's a satisfaction in that.
But you
man.
build those you build those bonds with those people. You can't never take that bond away. Us sitting around talking about stories at Possum Revenge. You see what I'm saying? People can't relate to that. That bond, you would always have that bond with that person. That pacer. When people text me, "Hey man, you need pacers," I'm like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
I don't never say no. Like, let's go. At Rocky 100, I was gonna do it, but I was gonna do it by myself, and then everybody just, "Hey, you need pacers, you need pacers." Longview, Texas, there's 3 guys there. They're like, "You need pacers?" I'm like, "Let's go." I'm like, "Let's go." I like, we were still dropping 9-minute miles at 80.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And one of the guy that's going to break my course record at Paso Revenge, Tomas, he was like, "Hey, let's push. We're pushing." And I'm like, "Oh, let's go." Like, this is the beef right here. Huh?
Yeah.
So I like that. I want to be there. I want to be uncomfortable right there.
That's
So
what I like too. It's still just a brute physical challenge. Like I had my running friends are like, "Man, but you guys walk." I'm like, "Okay, you're true, but come out with me and run
And do
50
it.
miles."
Yeah, it's
and
different.
so that's a goal for me that people won't understand outside of it. Is my goal is to run 50. And you still do very well, but
Right.
you walk hills because you have to. But I'm seeing like, and I'm not talking about speed or anything, but I see people who can run that 50, and that's a goal in itself for me. If I can,
And this is what people don't realize that when I was talking, there's a different version of you out there, right? So, I mean, if you would have
Yeah.
talked to me 7 years ago when I was doing 17, 18, I was running 252 marathons, 253 marathons and stuff like that, right? And then I was just like, why? Now I'm a different person. I just enjoy being in joy, if that makes sense. I'm too old to, if it takes my energy, I don't text the person to go run. I just, sometimes on Sunday,
Right.
Church of the Long Run, I call it on Sunday. I just want to go out to TSP and just get out, disconnect, boom. And
Just
then
go.
how does that make me feel? Brings me joy. Okay, let's go.
I want to come out there.
Yeah, oh,
Just
dude,
to
we
train
got to
with
make
you.
it. Dude, we got it, dude.
I've been telling you for like
So we'll
2
bring
years.
the
I
mountain
tell y'all,
bikes
man,
too,
I
man.
saw
So
y'all
we can
around.
mountain bike one day, and then
No,
we
that
can,
mountain bike, dude. Don't bring the mountain bike. It's brutal out there.
It's hard. Everything's hard on those damn mountain bikes. Man.
No,
It's so
Lindsay,
far.
they moved it. Lindsay and Tyler, it is awesome. You'll love it. The drops, I mean, it is. And they're doing a lot of work. Like you're
Nice.
going down 25 miles an hour.
So
Like
that-
even for me, I'm like, oh.
So that's your backyard,
Yeah.
the state park town.
And
Tyler
yeah,
State Park,
yeah. So I'm out there every Sunday, and just sometimes I don't know. When I tell you that I put that on my stories, like I never look at miles because the brain goes, I don't want to do 15 miles. But I said,
Yeah,
"Dude,
exactly.
what could I get in 3 hours? What could I get in 3 hours? Let me just get out
me
of here.
just go
I'm
out
a
there for
power
that.
hike, walk, move, try new nutrition, just get out. Sometimes listen to music, sometimes listen to a podcast. I'm like, what am I getting? Let's get something out of it.
Run
I've been looking at
podcast.
those woods, been wanting to
Yeah.
go. So man, we got to get out there.
Yeah.
Dude, it slowly breaks you down. Slowly breaks you down. So we need 7 more miles on the backside to make it. I mean, I think it would probably be one of the toughest 100-milers there.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Make a 100-miler out there.
They don't. The Rangers don't want to mess with it. But I mean, if we can get, the right people, 8 more miles. That'd be 18-mile loops because we already got 10, 11 mile every loop. 18-mile loops. That's 19 miles, and then we can go out there 3 miles. Dude, brutal.
Nice.
Brutal. We can,
Total
you
variation.
build it, they'll come. That's with the
Yeah.
right buckle.
Yeah.
With the right buckle, he's
It sounds simple, but it's true. Man. It's like,
They'll come with the right buckle.
I like buckles.
Why not? So the right shirt, the right buckle. Be like, what'd you get there?
Yep.
I do it for the buckle. That's why I need a cap to say.
That
I do it
Blaze
for the
Trails,
we gotta
Blaze
put
Trails
that
gear.
on
We
the
is
had
so
another.
fly,
Yeah,
man.
I do it for the buckle.
We
That was
gotta
another.
put that on a shirt here.
That's the
coming
Blaze
up.
Trails
Do it for the
folks. They
buckle.
got fly gear.
Yeah, I like that.
What it was that one that I don't want to give it out. That was a really good one. We said
Which one?
ultra choice of drug.
It was it?
Drug of choice. Ultra is my drug of choice.
Something like that. We were sitting there because we were all
Choice of
addicts.
drug.
Something ultra
Yeah.
choice of drug or something like that. It was something
Ultra-
around that. And then we're just like,
Drug
man,
choice is ultra. Maybe
because we were all trading stories, our addiction stories at 3 days of
Solomon.
Solomon.
Silomon.
I was saying it like in Spanish.
Silomon.
Silomon.
Hey. So I gotta. Nick's gonna have to leave, so we're gonna have to cut. We're gonna have to cut this one.
Okay, yeah.
We're already almost 20 minutes over.
Oh, wow.
So we can
You can get me anytime. Anytime. I'll come down here.
We
Anytime
can
you
talk forever, man.
Anytime
So,
we
yeah.
really got about sobriety, like how do you get through? How do you get through being like? Do you ever get the itch to drink or stuff like that? I kind of wanted to get a touch into that.
All right. We'll
know.
talk about that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So let's. The way I end these podcasts is I have one question for each one of y'all. So, Nick, what's your favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Nice. Run, Forrest, run.
And not because of running. I mean, I first watched Forrest Gump when I was like 6 or like young, and I've probably seen it 1,000 times. I've dressed up as Forrest Gump for multiple different
that's real.
versions of Forrest Gump.
Halloween.
And I mean, now it just kind of fits that I'm into running now. But yeah, I mean,
Nice.
it's a good movie.
Yeah, and Bam, you favorite movie?
Fight Club.
Oh, I could. Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not supposed to talk about it.
Rule number one.
Don't be talking about
Just
Fight
because of
Club.
the ego aspect of it, and then at the very end, you're like, "What just happened?" And then you kind of understanding your life. You're working your whole life to realize what am I doing with my life,
am I
and then you
doing?
have something that's exciting, and then you got to break the
makes
ego
a
down.
lot
Then you
of
got to
sense,
break the
man.
ego down, and then you understand the real person of you is really inside of you,
Yeah.
and that stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's just like running too. You know?
Yeah, it's just breaking that
You're
ego
just using
down.
instead of fighting, you're using running. You know, You're basically, yeah. So awesome, man.
What about a question to y'all? Can I give you a question, y'all?
Go ahead, man.
Flat is the Earth flat or round?
Oh, it's round.
What are we talking about?
Flat
Earth or round Earth?
Oh, round.
It's actually a little bit pear-shaped, but
Pear.
round in general.
I'm just kind of curious with people. I kind of watch where they're at when I give them that. I think it's flat.
Really?
The only reason why, I'm going to tell you why. Hey, you're going to go into conspiracy.
You and Kyrie Irving.
We had
Work it
Friday
out, man.
conspiracy. God, what was our
I
Friday
just want to talk
conspiracy?
to the homie who's sitting on the end
Mine
of it.
is just because if you see the flight when the airplane, it's an emergency, they go, if you start to see it's way different than you would think at Orlando. I don't know, but I don't know. I want you people, I don't know.
Yep.
It's my thing. I don't know anything. That's what I like to say. But I think
What
it's
about what they found underneath the pyramids? Y'all see that?
yeah, see stuff like this. You know what I'm saying?
So
You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's my thing.
I use it.
It's almost hard to go too deep into that because you're never going to figure out the right answer,
Oh, yeah.
And you'll never know.
and you'll never know.
And for all of our smarts in mathematics, I've written a couple of articles on this. They say, oh, we're so smart now. I said, okay, you have a pyramid in front of you. You could reverse engineer it. Those stones are placed within 1/1000th of an inch, each one of them weighing.
So how are the
up to
pyramids
2.
made?
We don't know. That's my point. There's a physical engineering that we don't have. So there's always a bias we give to the present time. We're the smart ones. Like, I'll leave you with this. For example, one question for everybody, and ask somebody else, which is, how are we stupid today? It sounds harsh until you think. People often start sentences like this. Man, can you believe that in 1950 people thought? And so real talk. Go forward 50 years and say, can you believe in 2025 people actually thought
Cars couldn't fly.
One more thing, simulation. Are we in a simulation or not a simulation?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about right
people
there.
actually?
I think we're the simulators of our own simulation.
There you go, man.
Mic drop.
Yeah, mic drop. That's it.
That's the secret to life.
So we're going out on that one. I want to thank both of y'all for coming out. And
It's fun.
if y'all want to plug anything, if you want to plug something real quick, plugs
Nick
anything.
Sept.
You need anything, Nick Sept.
The IG. Tell them.
I don't have anything to plug.
Okay.
I just hope you're out there having fun, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a Bam Up.
He is the plug.
Bam Up.
He's a
I
Bam
think.
Bam
Up. I rarely
Bam
post
Up.
stuff on there. If I'm creative, I might put like a little video. But my Insta stories, if I could have something I want to reach out and I put my little workout stuff or any questions, I love answering. 10 years in the ultra world. I love
Nice.
it.
Perfect. All right, we're out.
Hey, that was fun, dog. We need to do that more often, dude.
Yeah.
I love conspiracies are my favorite, dude.
It's the mystery that
Yeah.
we have in life about things like
Like today, right? Super interesting today, right? The brain was 5 minutes. Like, you're not gonna get a 3%. Why did you put that to goal? I should have your expectations, and then it might be better. See, the job used to give me a lot. That's what I'm saying. So 5 minutes later, you go, hey, you're alive, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I'm doing my
it's-
job.
I'm doing my job.